Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel, Kavi Web Designs. Today we're going to continue with our JavaScript e-course. Previously we have learned about JavaScript string search. Today we're going to learn about JavaScript string templates. Backtick syntax. String templates are use backticks rather than quotes to define a string. So as you can see in this example over here, create a variable called text using the let keyword and give it the value of hello world. But as you can see over here, instead of using quotes, double or single, we're using backticks. So this will now be a template string. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see over here, in the script tag, we have our variable text and we have given it the value of a template string which is saying hello world. And then over here we have used the document.getElementById method. And then we are updating the HTML element which has the ID of demo to the value of text. So as you can see over here, this header one and this paragraph doesn't have the ID of demo. So JavaScript will not care about them. But this paragraph over here is special as because it has the ID of demo. So then JavaScript will update it to the value of text. So now let's run this to see what will happen. So as you can see over here we'll have a header, a paragraph, and the paragraph which had the ID of demo is now replaced with hello world, just like any other string. So as you can see over here, these backticks just behave like regular quotes, but there's a little difference. Here you can use double quotes such as like this or single quotes. So but there's a little bit difference. So as you can see in this over here, we can use a single quote or a double quote, and then JavaScript will accept both of these as because it is a template string. So now let's go back to the PPT. Quotes inside a strings. As I told you, template strings allow both single quotes and double quotes inside a string. So let's look at an example over here. We declare a variable called text. We are using backtick syntax over here to declare a template string, and we are given it the value of he's often, as you can see over here, we use single quotes over here. He's often called Johnny, and Johnny is surrounded by double quotes. Let's look this up in Visual Studio Code to see what will happen. So now, as you can see over here, Visual Studio Code doesn't give out an error as because template strings allow single quotes and double quotes. So now, below that script over here, we have used the document.getElementById method. We're getting the ID of demo, which is in this paragraph over here. So then JavaScript will not care about any other HTML elements and will just straight up go to this and then we'll update it to the value of text. Now let's run this to see what will happen using Chrome. So now as you can see over here, we'll have a header, a paragraph, and a paragraph which has the ID of demo is replaced with he's often called Johnny. So as you can see over here, the template string over here has allowed both the single quote and the double quotes. And then if you want, you can use a backslash escape character over here using this slash. And then JavaScript will still accept it. So if we use slash over here, and then now when we run this using Chrome, you'll see that we'll get slash inverted comma as because this is a template string and it doesn't allow backslash escape characters. And it will think that this slash over here is just a character that we have written in this string. So now let's go back to the PPT. Multiple strings, multi-line strings. Template strings allow multi-lines. So as you can see over here, we declare a variable called text and given it the value of a template string, which is saying the quick fox, a line break, the quick brown fox. And as you can see over here, we are given multiple line breaks over here, such as the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So as you can see over here, we are given 5 line breaks over here. One over here, one over here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code to see what will happen. So now as you can see over here we have the example from the PPT where we are given a string multiple line breaks. Let's replace it to see what will happen if we don't use backticks. As you can see over here, JavaScript will give an error as because you cannot use multi-line strings. So now as you can see over here, when I replace them back with backticks, Visual Studio Code and JavaScript will not give an error. And then below that script, we use the document.getElementById method. We're getting the ID of demo. So then just search to this HTML document to find the ID of demo. And then it will update the content inside too. And then it will update the content inside to the value of text, which is over here. So now let's see what will happen when we run this using Chrome. So as you can see over here, we have a header, a paragraph, and the paragraph which has the ID of demo is now replaced with the quick brown fox jump over the lazy dog. But as you can see over here, HTML is not giving us line breaks, as because note that it is just a string with some line breaks in it. So JavaScript will not counter and erase those line breaks and just display it. So now let's go back to the PPT. Interpretation. Template string provides an easy way to interpolate variables and expressions into a string. The method is called string interpolation. The syntax is $ curly braces and then a variable. Variable substitutions. String templates allow variables in strings. So as you can see over here in this example, we have declared a variable called first name and given it the value of John. And we have declared another variable called last name and given it the value of Doe. And then over here, we have declared another variable called text and we have given it the value of a string, where we have given it as welcome. And then we're using interpolation over here to get the value of the variable first name, comma, and then we're using interpolation over here too to get the value of last name. So let's look at this using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see over here in the script tags, we have declared a variable called first name, which we have given it as the value of John. We have declared a variable called last name and given it the value of Doe. And over here we have declared another variable called text and given the value of a template string, where it is saying welcome. And then we're using interpolation over here and we are finding the value of first name, comma, and then we're using interpolation again to find the value of last name and an exclamation mark. And then over here we are getting the ID of demo in this document over here and then updating it to the value of text. And then over here, as you can see in the body, we have a header, a paragraph with the ID of demo. So then JavaScript will replace this paragraph to the value of text. And then we have another paragraph. So now let's run this to see what will happen. So as you can see over here, we'll have a header, a paragraph, and the paragraph which has the ID of demo is now replaced with welcome John Doe. But what will happen if we forgot to declare the variable? So let's imagine that we forgot to declare a variable over here. So now let's run this to see what will happen. So as you can see over here, JavaScript will not display it as because over here, as you can see over here, Visual Studio Code has given us an error over here in the debug console, which is saying reference error, last name is not defined. So then it will not display it. So now let's put this back and then run this. So now as you can see, it will come as welcome John Doe. But what if we write a typo over here? Then what will happen? Now let's run this to see what will happen. As you can see over here, we will get the same result and it will become a reference error again, last name not defined. So now let's go back to the PPT. Automatic replacing of variables with real values is called string interpolation. String substitution. Template strings allow expressions in strings. So as you can see over here, we have declared a variable called price and given it the value of 10, and we have declared a variable called VAT and given it the value of 0.25. And we have declared another variable called total and given it as total : and then we have used interpolation over here, which is equal to price multiplied by bracket 1 plus VAT bracket close and 2 fixed to 2. So as you can see over here, we have written over here 2 fixed to 2. So then it will fix the value to only 2 numbers. So now let's look at this using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see over here we have an example where we have declared a variable called price and given it the value of 10. We declared another variable called VAT and given it the value of 0.25. And we have declared another variable called total and given it the value of total : we have used interpolation over here, bracket price multiplied by bracket 1 plus VAT bracket close 2 fixed to 2. So then it will fix the numbers to 2. And we have closed the curly brackets. So now, and then we're first getting the ID of demo in this document over here, which is over here. And then we are updating it to the value of total. So now let's run this to see what will happen. So now, as you can see over here, in the paragraph which has the ID of demo, JavaScript was now replaced with total 12.50. Why is it coming 50? As because we have fixed it over here to 2 numbers. Otherwise, it will come as 12.5. So let's remove this over here to see what will happen. So now, when we run this using Chrome, as you can see over here, it will come as total 12.5. So that's why I fixed it to 2 values to make you understand better. So now let's go back to the PPT. HTML templates. So as you can see over here in this example, we have first declared a variable called header and given it the value of template strings. And then we have declared another variable called tags and given it the value of an array, which has 3 items. One is template strings, another is JavaScript, another is ex6. And then we have declared another variable called HTML and we have given it the value of some HTML tags, a header 2, and we have used interpretation over here and getting the value of header, and then a header 2 close, and then we have started a UL tag, so which is an unordered list. And then we have used a loop over here and passed some arguments over here. So we have declared a variable in this argument over here. We have declared it as x and then of tags. X of tags means, and then we are adding li $x/li. So we are giving it as a list item. So we are giving x the value of tags, and then we are using the li, which is a list item, and adding those items over here to here. And then we're adding another item to HTML, to the variable HTML/ul. So and this means that we are closing the unordered list. So let's look at this using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see over here we have the example from the PPT, and then we're using the document.getElementById method where we are getting the ID of demo, and then now we are replacing it to the value of HTML. So now when we run this using Chrome, we will see that in the empty paragraph over here we'll get it as template strings, JavaScript ex6. So as you can see over here, we have created a list using this code over here. So just for the simple list, we're using this much line of code. So now we can extend it as more as we want. As you can see over here, we can add more elements such as apple and car. Now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see over here, JavaScript will automatically add it, as because over here we use a for loop where it will run until every single list item over here is in the li tags. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Browser support. Template strings is the ES6 feature, JavaScript 2015. ES6 is a fully supported in all modern browsers since 2012. So as you can see over here, Chrome 51 and above is supportive for template strings. Edge 15 supports template strings. Firefox 54 template strings. Safari 10 supports template strings, and Opera 38 also supports template strings. And as you can see below them, here are the dates when they were first supported. Template strings are also not supported in Internet Explorer. So if you're using Internet Explorer, I advise you to switch to another browser such as Chrome, Edge or Firefox. So folks, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to support us, please like, share, subscribe to our channel Kavi Web Designs, and keep on watching our videos, and have a nice day. Bye.